Hello everybody and welcome to our fourth lesson of Arabic language for the absolute beginner. In today's lesson we will continue with the writing system of Arabic and we will practice writing letter T. The letter T, al-ta. As you can see in this slide, we have divided the letters into two groups. Those that can connect from both sides with a preceding and a following letter, and those that can only connect to the right hand side. They can connect with the letter to the right hand side. So this is the first group: ba, ta, tha, jim, ha, kha, sin, shin, sad, dad, ta, dha, ain, ghain, fa, qaf, kaf, lam, mim, Noon, Ha, Ya. This is one group. The second group is the one that can only connect with the letter to their right hand side, where we have al-alif, alif, dal, dal, ra, zay, waw. So we'll keep this slide all along the lesson so that we can always refer to these letters. Whenever we need any of those letters, we can easily just remind ourselves that, look, this is a letter that can connect to the right and left, and this is a letter that can only connect to the right hand side. So in this lesson, we will practice writing the second letter, a ta or ta. We will look at the different shapes. Depending on the position of this letter, we will see variation in the shape of this letter. That is the individualized shape. This is the letter when it is not really connected with anything. It is just the isolated form or the individualized form. Okay, looking at this slide, we can notice that the ta is one of the letters that can connect to the right and to the left. So we are going to go through the different shapes of this letter in the initial position, in the medial position, and in the final position. Starting with the initial position, we can see this shape where the letter ta has changed its shape slightly so that it is ready to connect with the following letter. So that is the initial shape of the ta letter. Let's have an example. So the word we have here is the word tuffah, tuffah, which stands for apple in English. We will have the component of this word letter by letter. So we'll have t, f, a, h, ta, fa, alif, and ha. Tuffah, tuffah. These are the individualized letters. These are the letters without any connection. Now we'll look at their shapes when they are ready to connect. That is the initial ta made ready to connect with the following letter. This is the connection where there is a bit of an extension at the end. Then the f is also a letter that can connect at both sides. If you look at our list of letters, this is where the f or alfa, it can it is one of the letters that can connect with the preceding and a following letter. That's why it has this difference in shape, where it has been extended a little bit to the right and a little bit to the left so that it can connect with the preceding ta and the following alif, as you will see in a second. The following letter is al-alif, and we can notice the change in the shape where there is an extension here. An extension here showing that it is made ready to connect with the preceding letter alpha in this example. And finally, the ha, as you will see here, the ha will appear as it is for the following reason. It cannot connect with the alif because the alif is one of the letters that can only connect to the right hand side but not to the left hand side. That's why even though the ha is a letter that can connect to the right and to the left, but it will not connect to the right with the alif, because the alif is one of the letters that can only connect to the right hand side with a letter that come to their right hand side, which is al-fa in this example. That's why we have an extension for the alif to the right hand side only. The ha can extend with the preceding letter, but the preceding letter in this context is al-alif, and the al-alif is a letter that can only connect with a letter that comes to the right hand side. Now this is how the word will look when it is finalized, when it is written. So we have tuffah, tuffah. Clearly the ta, fa and alif connect with one another, but the ha will remain isolated because the alif can only connect with a preceding letter but not with the following letter. And that is the word tuffah. I read again, tuffah, which is the word apples in English. One more example of the initial ta is in the word tamr, tamr, which is dates in English, this kind of date, dates. So basically we'll go through the component letters of this word, where we have at-ta, al-mim, and ar-ra. Now you can notice that at-ta is one of our first list, which can connect right and left. Al-mim is also one letter that can connect to the right and to the left, while ar-ra can only connect to the right hand side because it belongs to the second group. Now these are the individualized letters. These are the letters before the connection takes place. Here is the shape of the initial ta with the extension to connect with the following letter, al-mim. And here is al-mim extended to the right and to the left so that it can connect with the preceding ta and the following ra. And here are the extensions. Finally, the R can only connect to the right hand side, and that's how it is extended in here so that it can connect with the preceding sound al-mim. There is an extension in here. So when they connect, ta is joining m and joining ra, and we get tamr, 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 where the ta is initial. The second variation in the shape of the ta letter is when the ta is medial, and we can distinguish two shapes. There is the initial ta, very much like the initial ta, and there is the ta which extending to the right and to the left. Both are possible in the medial position for this letter. Here is an example where the ta is in the middle of the word. The example that we have is the word ratib, ratib, which is the word for salary in English, or an income that you receive monthly or weekly, salary or ratib. The component letter of this word is al-ra, ra, al-alif, a, al-ta, ta, al-ba, ba. Ratib, ratib. These are the individual letters without any connection. Now we can tell clearly that the first letter belongs to the second group. Al-ra here is able to connect with the preceding letter only. Al-alif also belongs to the second group. It can only connect with the preceding letter, while the ta and the ba, the ta belongs to the first group. It can connect to both to both the preceding and the following letter. Similarly, the ba can connect to both preceding and following letter. Let's see how they connect. The R sound is initial. It cannot connect with the alif because the R can only connect to the right hand side. The alif cannot connect also with the ra because the ra is unable to connect to the right hand side. The following letter is al-ta, and clearly the ta will connect only with the ba because the alif will not connect with the following letter. It is able to connect only to the right hand side. the ta is made in the this shape so that it is extending a little bit at here so that it can connect with the following letter al-ba. So the ba can connect with the ta with this little extension to the right hand side. When the word is written, we get the following shape: ratib, 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 which is the word for salary. Let's have another example. The word we have now is the word kitab, 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 which is the word for book in English, kitab. The component letters are al-kaf, ka, al-ta, ta, al-alif, a, al-ba, ba, kitab. These are the individualized letters without any connection. We can, through this slide, understand that which one can connect to the right and which one can connect to both to the right and to the left. So this is the initial shape of the ka. It has an extension so that it can connect with the ta. The ta is able to connect with the preceding and following, so it is extended to the right and extended to the left. The a can only connect to the right, so there is an extension to the right hand side only. The ba does not connect with the alif because the alif cannot connect with the following letter. It can only connect with the preceding letter. So that is the format of the word kitab, kitab. When the word is written, these letters come close to one another and they form the word kitab. These arrows refer to the extensions that we have at the end or at the beginning of each letter so that they can connect with one another. That is how the word connect: kitab, kitab, kitab. Moving now to the final position where we have a different shape, a slightly different shape for the letter ta. So we can distinguish this shape and we can also distinguish this shape. The second shape is the one that is identical with the individualized shape. So let's have an example and see how the letter is written. Here is an example. The word we have is the word bait. 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 The word bait stands for house in English. Bait. Okay, these are the component letters: al-ba, ba, al-ya, ya, al-ta, ta. Bait. Bait. We can now, through the distribution of the letters, we can tell which one can connect to the right and which one can connect to the right and left. So al-ba is initial, so it is written in this shape, extending a little bit to the left so that it can connect with the ya. Al-ya is able to connect with both the preceding ba and the following ta. So we have this shape, ya, extending to the right and extending to the left. The final letter is al-ta, which is made with extension to the right so that it can connect with the ya. So you get bait, bait. Again, when the word is written, those letters come close to one another so that we have the word or the form bait, bait, bait. Here is another example where the final ta appears very similar to the individualized shape. The example we have is the word maut, maut, which stands for death in English. Maut. Individualized letters are al-mim, m, al-waw, wa, al-ta, ta. Maut, maut. Well, then we will see how they connect. That is, the m is extending a little bit so that it can connect with the wa. The wa can only connect with a letter to the right hand side. So as you can see, it belongs to the second group. So we will notice that the wa has this extension in here, showing that it can connect with a preceding letter. Finally, the ta will appear in the individualized shape because it cannot connect with the wa. The wa is a letter that can only connect with a preceding letter, with the letter to the right hand side, but not with the letter to the left hand side. Then when the word is written, these letters join one another and come close to one another, and we have the word or the form maut, maut, maut. So these are the different shapes of the letter ta. Thank you very much. This brings us to the end of this lesson. Thank you very much. مع السلامة.